Hello, Pokemon fans, and welcome back after a brief hiatus to Pod-ket Monsters. My name is Dustin Cunningham. Joining me as always, the Ash to my Go, Jeff Grizz Ulrich. Jeff, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, Dustin. How are you?
Good. I know how much you dislike Go, so I couldn't make you
You couldn't
go.
make me be the go. I appreciate that so much.
I was like, well, I figured he'd like to be the Ash in this situation.
God,
so,
right?
Yeah. But how's everything going? How have you been? It's been a while.
Yeah, I mean, we've still been talking, obviously, and we played
Yeah.
Pokemon Unite last week. That was really cool. We did some pack opening stuff the week before that. So we're still doing Pod-ket Monster stuff. We're just not doing episodes as frequently.
Yeah, still doing stuff, but yeah, for fans of just the podcast itself, I know it's been a little while since we put out a new episode. Thanks for your patience. Today on the show, we're actually going to be sharing our early impressions of Pokemon Unite, which we did like Jeff said, last weekend we played some of that, as well as discussing our thoughts and hopes for the newly announced Pokemon live-action series coming to Netflix. But before we get into those two things, let's dive into some other news for the week. As I said above, Pokemon Unite is now available on the Nintendo Switch as well as mobile. The game is a free-to-play MOBA title that pits two teams of 5 against one another. The goal is to defeat Pokemon, gather points, and score them in the other team's goals. The game is also releasing additional Pokemon to the roster, and this week they also added... I know the game came out just about a little over a week and a half ago, but they've already added a Gardevoir to the roster. So what do you think about Gardevoir coming in?
I mean, I think it's an indicator of things to come with this game, where we're going to be getting lots of additional Pokemon to play with, that's cool. I mean, it seems to have worked out well for League of Legends, because I think they have 100-something characters. I don't know, could be even more.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is this is the first MOBA I've ever played. Like, I know of League of Legends, but I've never actually played it. So this is the first one that I've really ever tried out, and now, granted, I mean, myself personally, I've only played that one time that we played together.
Same here.
So I would like to play some more. I liked the game, even though we weren't good at it. That was the thing, I was having fun, and I was like, if I was getting frustrated, it was more so just that, dang it, I know that I can be better than this. It was more so that. It wasn't like the game felt cheap or anything to me.
Well, we're going to dive into more of that in our main topics today.
Yep.
So
yep.
I'll share more of my thoughts on it when we get into it.
Yeah. All right. Another news, the new Pokemon Snap has announced its next free update. It'll add an additional 3 new areas and 20 new Pokemon to the roster. The 3 new areas are Secret Side Path. It's a new path on the first island where basically it shrinks you down. And so you're like a little small version of the character going through. So all the Pokemon seem giant.
Or giant-sized.
Which is actually pretty cool. I like that. Mighty Wide River and the Barren Badlands. Some of the new Pokemon include the likes of Gyarados, Feraligatr, and Snorlax. The update goes live on August 3rd. What do you think of that, Jeff?
I mean, I still haven't finished the main campaign of new Pokemon Snap, so, who knows? I
was... When we decided the time we were going live this morning, I was actually sitting on my couch playing Pokemon Snap. I was like, maybe I'll try to beat this before we do our podcast. And then for people that are watching live, we're doing this a little bit earlier than we normally would. But I was like, I got about 2 hours. Maybe I can knock out this game. And then we decided to do it in about a half an hour. So
when we did our initial impressions on Pokemon Snap, I was really loving it. It was fun. But that's the way gaming works. There's always another game coming out, and I got distracted, and I never went back.
Do you think this will bring you back?
It might. I mean, I really just want to finish it because I want to finish it.
Yeah.
There's no excuse, right? It's not like it's that long of a game that I think I couldn't finish it.
When we last talked about it, I think even outside of the podcast, we were both pretty much at the end of the game. I think we were both in the last area.
For sure.
So
I'm very close. So I'll pick a time and knock that out. And
I'm trying to make that my goal as well too, is to just finish it up, so that way I can have something else to talk about on this too, like my overall thoughts on the game at the end. But yeah,
but I am excited. I'm excited that they're doing more DLC for it though, because it's something we were concerned about going into the launch of the game, was that it wasn't going to have enough replayability or enough to bring you back, and they're giving you a free DLC. That's dope.
Yep. And it's adding some Pokemon back end that people have been missing. I know that for me in the original Pokemon Snap, one of my standout memories is the Gyarados that pops out of the waterfall.
Yeah.
So it's cool that Gyarados is coming back. I I know Onyx was in the trailer. I don't think Onyx was in the game before. It was just
Yeah, it
Steelix,
was.
right?
No, Onyx was.
Was Onyx in the game?
It's
Oh,
all
okay.
over. There's
Okay.
that
Well, never mind.
the desert.
That's right.
region.
Yes.
There's like
Okay.
40 of them.
Yeah. That's my bad. Okay, so Onyx is not a new Pokemon, but Gyarados is. All right. Niantic has announced the next Pokemon Go events for August 2021. First, the Research Breakthrough Reward has been announced from August 1st, 2021 to September 1st, 2021. You'll get a Chimeco. Mega Ampharos will be in raids on August 6th through the 20th. Mega Beedrill August 20th through August 26th. And Mega Pidgeot August 26th through September 1st.
Is there a more
Does this do
disappointing
anything for you?
Well, I was gonna say, is there a more disappointing Mega than Mega Pidgeot?
Yes. No, I guess not, because
No, I guess
Pidgeot's
not.
I really like Pidgeot, but I think Mega Pidgeot is
It just
kind
doesn't-
of a waste.
Just doesn't really add anything to it, you
Yeah.
know. But that aside, always happy for them to be bringing in more megas and
Yep.
you know, more.
Bring back Megas, you know what I'm saying?
Listen, Pokemon Company, listen, bring back megas.
Yeah. But like make them better than Mega Pidgeot.
But better than Mega Pidgeot. That's got to be the baseline. They all have to be better than Mega Pidgeot.
Exactly. All right, and other Pokemon Go news. Niantic has announced the next Pokemon Go Community Day on August 14th and 15th. It'll focus on, we're gonna have to do it. We're gonna focus on Jeff's favorite Pokemon, Eevee.
Whoa, not my favorite. Just better than Pikachu.
Debatable. The event will have a decreased walk distance to hatch eggs, a 3-hour incense and lure modules. The community day runs from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. local time, whatever time zone you're in. That'll be when it runs.
Look, the reason this is a good one for them, because they've already done an EV community day before. It's a good one for them to come back to again, because people always need more shiny EVs so that they can get all the evolutions in shinies.
Yeah, that's a good point. And then, so in this event, the moves obtained for evolving Pokemon during the event is Vaporeon will learn Scald, Jolteon learns Zap Cannon, Flareon Superpower, Espeon Shadow Ball, Umbreon Psychic, Leafeon Bullet Seed, Glaceon Water Pulse, and Sylveon will learn Psyshock. EV caught or hatched during this time will know Last Resort as well. So, cool, the new Pokemon Day, or the Community Day is coming out. I will not be participating in this because I will be out of town, so good luck to everybody that is participating in this. But
good luck, everybody else.
yeah. Hopefully you get a bunch of shiny Eevees so you can have a bunch of shiny Umbreons.
I want to point out in chat, our friend DJ says Pidgeot is disappointing in general.
Ooh.
Strong feelings on
mods ban him.
The first bird Pokemon.
All right, lastly in the news, and this will kind of be one of our big topics for the day, is a new Pokemon series is in early development at Netflix. It's a live action series. The project is still in early days. No details are available about the plot. However, sources say that Joe Henderson is attached to write and executive produce. Henderson currently serves as the co-showrunner and executive producer on the popular Netflix series Lucifer, which is preparing to air its 6th and final season at the streaming site. Sources also say that the project would be a live-action series akin to Detective Pikachu, the film starring Ryan Reynolds and Justice Smith that released in 2019. So, I just wanted to share that news story real quick because that's going to be one of our main topics, but it's pretty exciting as we're both Detective Pikachu fans. We want to see more from this, so we'll get into it a little bit more. And speaking of, let's just dive right into our main topics for the day anyways, so we can share our thoughts on both that and Pokemon Unite. All right, last week, again, like I said, we saw the launch of Pokemon Unite. Jeff and I both spent a few hours playing the game, played a few matches online with our good friend DJ as well. He came in and joined us and lost a bunch with us, but it was still fun. So I wanted to take a little bit of time to just kind of discuss our general thoughts on the game, including our favorite characters, overall, like what the overall goals for each matches are, and the presentation. So Jeff, why don't you start and kind of give me your general thoughts on the game as a whole?
So I'm not a MOBA guy. I've played some because I have some friends who are very much into MOBAs, really into League of Legends. One of my college roommates was all about Dota when that first became a thing, and so I've seen a lot, and I don't know. I'm just not sure it's a genre for me because it feels like you have to have some sort of innate ability that I apparently don't have. But the game itself is very cool. I like it's pretty simple to understand. Go kill the wild Pokemon, kill your opposing team's Pokemon, and then dunk on them. And very, very simple to get your head around that game as a concept.
It's normal basketball rules, right?
Yeah, exactly. Kill your opponents and then dunk on them.
For me, what I like about it is it's a game that's easy to like pick up, just like to play a few matches. Like if you're just have a little bit of time and someone's like, "Hey, do you guys want to play a quick round of Pokemon Unite?" You can just hop on. It doesn't take too long. I think the matches are 10 minutes, right? There's a game clock of 10 minutes on there. So it doesn't take too long to just hop into a game real fast and get destroyed by the other team before going on with the rest of your day.
We did win a few. We won a few games. But as far as like favorite characters, I don't know that I've necessarily picked a favorite one to play as yet, but I definitely have favorite ones to not play against, and I never want to play against Zeraora again.
Yeah, Zeraora is a little cheap. That's a Pokemon I'm pretty sure you can get just by playing the game early. I still haven't downloaded it, but
I did as soon as we stopped playing. I went and checked my like inbox or whatever for.
I should probably
go
do that.
I went ahead and got that. The other one, Gengar, is fairly broken apparently.
That's what I've heard as well too.
It's tough for me to tell if a character is actually broken or if I'm just bad at the game. But people who've been playing it a lot more and tend to know what they're talking about have said that they believe that Gengar is broken. So, maybe that's why I was so bad, as we were going up against Gengars.
I do want to at least preface that we did win a few rounds.
Yeah,
early
I said that.
Like we won but we won like a few, and then it was just all downhill from there.
Yeah, I thought we were getting better at the game.
Yep.
And then we were just not.
And one issue I have with the game, I don't know if there's a way to fix this or if it's something that they'll add later, but it doesn't tell you the score while you're playing.
Yeah.
So like you legitimately have no idea how well you're doing.
I think I know why they do it that way though.
It's so that you don't drop out.
It's so you don't drop out.
Yeah.
And because
I guess,
would definitely happen.
Especially but every other game has the same thing. Like if you're playing Call of Duty or Halo, it tells you what the other team has, and if people choose to drop out, they typically get punished if they keep doing it. Like they'll
True. I'm just saying, if DJ was able to see the score, he would have dropped us like a bad habit.
That's very true. Yeah, my overall thoughts on the game is I like it. It's definitely not something that I'm going to play all the time. I don't really have the desire to like jump back into it. Just like, it didn't get its hooks into me where it's all I wanted to do was play that game. It was fun. Maybe I'll jump in here and there. We have a few other people that we talk about playing with as well too, so maybe we'll jump in with them. But
it's in my hook. Its hooks are in me enough that I do want to play it some more, because I think if there's ever going to be a MOBA that I'll be interested in actually trying to get good at, this is going to be it.
It'll probably be the only MOBA I ever play.
Which
honestly,
and the problem is that MOBAs have a culture around them, right? Each MOBA has its own culture, and almost all of them are considered toxic by everyone outside of those cultures.
Yeah, that's true.
I just wonder how long before Pokemon Unite is toxic gamer culture.
Well, to be honest, the Pokemon community in general
can be a little toxic sometimes.
There's a little toxicity in the Pokemon community, especially
toxicity
around
in the city.
Yep. Toxicity. Especially when it comes to Pokemon cards. I think so far my favorite Pokemon to play as, I was a big fan of Garchomp. I like Garchomp, and I thought that Cinderace was pretty good. Overall,
I just want to point out, Islam got my reference. I made a
Yep.
Just making sure.
Yeah. Do you have any like final thoughts or anything else you want to say on?
Well, I think what'll be the deciding factor for me on whether or not this is a game that I will play a lot going forward is which Pokemon they add to the game when.
Yeah.
Because everyone has their own favorite Pokemon, right? So the moment I can play as Arcanine, I'm gonna be all about that.
Seems like Arcanine to me seems like a for sure. Like that seems like they'll put a Growlithe and Arcanine in there.
I would think
at
so.
some point. For me, I don't know if they'll put a Scyther in there. I think Scyther is a good choice because of like the claws and like seems more like but again, I don't know if the popularity of that Pokemon is.
Scyther is pretty popular, and also with there being Caesar, and then are they going to introduce we already mentioned? Are they going to introduce Mega Evolutions?
Yeah, that would be cool. DJ in the chat does say Flygon win, and I definitely agree.
Precisely.
Except for Trapinch is going to be kind of a weird Pokemon to like play as at first, but I guess it won't be too bad.
See, they could do there's some really cool stuff they could do with these Pokemon, like Trapinch. you could be burrowing as Trapinch,
Yeah,
right? And and like that's like one of your
use
abilities when you're
dig
moving.
more. So yeah,
You're using dig to move around, and that's how you can escape
because
people when you're
because
about to get killed.
the game has different like classes. So there's like speed classes. Uh there's like speed support stuff along those
There's
lines.
I mean, there's tanks. There's
Yeah, well, for me, Trapinch seems like it would be a slow Pokemon, and then Flygon seems the opposite, where Flygon would be a fast Pokemon. So I wonder how they'll do that. Maybe they will make it dig underground to move, so it moves faster or something. But how
yeah.
do you hit it like underground? Like
Well,
that's
so but the thing is, like, it can be underground, but you also can't be hitting anything while you're underground. So like
mm,
it kind of balances itself there. Like you just taking yourself out of combat, you're not scoring points, and you're not
you're just
helping the
hiding,
team. You're just hiding. So you know,
basically a camper.
I'm just
I
saying
mean,
there's possibilities with things like that. But there's so many Pokemon now
yeah,
that there's no telling when you're going to get the Pokemon that you're actually most excited for. Like it
yeah.
makes
I don't.
like we were saying, Arcanine is my favorite Pokemon, and seems like a popular enough Pokemon that it should appear pretty quickly. But it could also
Yeah,
be that they're trying to introduce Pokemon from later generations, maybe stuff that's a little underappreciated by the general public. To see if maybe they can garner some more attention for some of these later Pokemon that people might have forgotten or missed.
so I was trying to pull up the roster, um, just to see what's all there so far, and I guess there is quite a few Pokemon already.
Yeah, there's a good
There's
number.
yeah.
What's the total
It,
at?
well, it doesn't give me the actual total. It's just a list, so I'd have to like sit here and actually count them. But it looks like it's at like 15 to 20 at least.
See, and when you compare that to other MOBAs that have been out a lot longer, they tend to have way more characters. So
Yeah,
I imagine that they're going to drive to that, and it will probably happen a lot quicker than I'm expecting. That they'll start ramping up the numbers on Pokemon, but or maybe they'll follow the same sort of model as they do with Pokemon Go, where it's just like every few months they release a couple more Pokemon, into the world.
and it does look like with Gardevoir's edition, it's 21 in the roster. So
Okay.
it looks like it started with 20 and now it's at 21. So I assume that they'll just slowly start putting out Pokemon. But you're right. I don't know how they're going to decide what to put in there.
Well, and
Like
there's
if you
some
look through,
Pokemon that they've introduced in the game that are like the ones that you run around and kill, and there's the ones like Zapdos or
yeah,
forget it, Rotom or
yeah.
Dreadnought. Those appear on the map, uh, and they have some stuff built in for those models already. But are those characters now never going to be introduced into the game as playable characters because they're part of the maps?
Yeah, and it's hard to really know what they're going for with the roster because I was like, well, it seems like they probably do more popular, but then you have Pokemon like Cramorant in there. And
I love Cramorant. Oh, lost Dustin. Love when this happens. There's just no telling. No telling when Dustin's going to disappear.
um,
Welcome back, Dustin.
sorry about that, everybody. It looks like it just decided to crash on me. Let's readjust this. Anyways, what I was saying though is it's like hard to predict what they're really looking for in like the Pokemon. Like, what are they? It because there's so many random ones like Eldegoss.
You mentioned Cramorant. I love Cramorant.
Yeah, but like it just seems like such a random Pokemon to have.
It's
And
one of the more special Pokemon from the Galar region.
yeah,
What with its ability to launch other Pokemon out of its mouth.
it's just so weird. Cramorant is so weird. But yeah, overall, I like the game. I'll play more of it. Maybe we'll get a full crew together because it's 5v5, and I know that with you, me, and DJ, there's three of us there, and I know that Cody and Will
There's
also
our five.
play. Yep.
Let's give it a
So we
go.
can have a team of 5. Maybe we could convince Islam to play as well too at some point down the road.
We will see.
But yeah, I think basically my overall like standing on the game is I like the game. It has not got its hooks in me enough to where I'm like I have to play it all the time, but I'm definitely down to play some more.
I think it's the kind of game that, at least for you and me, being not MOBA guys, it's the kind of game that as long as we have people to play it with, we'll come back to it because it's fun enough to keep playing with friends. But
Yeah.
I don't know if it's necessarily fun enough for me to play by myself when there
Yeah.
are, as we've said, thousands of other games to play.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to our next main topic of the show. It's a rare episode for us where we actually have two main topics. Our next topic is going to be the newly announced Pokemon live action series that we talked about in the news. I just wanted to spend a little time going over what we want to see from this show, like our hopes and dreams, and then what we think the show will actually be. So we can have our like sky's the limit, what do we want to see in this show, and then come back down to earth a little bit and just discuss like what we think they're actually going to do with this show, because it's got to be as much as it's going to be for the fans, they also want to bring in new viewers. So
there's a lot of possibility with this situation here, because they could be doing literally anything. The first thing I wanted to touch on though was that I think it's an interesting choice to go with the executive producer and showrunner of Lucifer for your live action Pokemon show. Because you definitely can't put in like the trailer from the makers of Lucifer, the live action Pokemon show. No, you can't put that in the advertisements. People already think Pokemon is satanic in the first place.
I think there's also I'm trying to remember what else he did. I'm gonna pull up the news story because it was originally posted by Variety, I think, was who got the exclusives for it. And I wanted to see what else, because I think they talk about what else he worked on as well, and I wanted to see what it was, because I feel like he did like a couple other. So he did 11, 22, 63. You also can't really like.
Yeah, there's not a lot of crossover viewership between
maybe
Pokemon
Graceland
fans
and White Collar, but
yeah, because that's another thing. White collar crime is something that comes up a lot in Pokemon.
Yeah. For me, I really want to see, might be what they end up doing, but I do just want to see the story of a trainer going through the gyms. I know that that's probably what we'll get. Who knows if it is actually what we'll get, but I've always wanted to see that.
I just want a live action show that, like we said, I'd like to see them go on their adventure, go through the trainer battles and all that stuff. But more than anything, I want this show to be long running and to follow this trainer as they grow up. Like, let's break away from what they've set up with the animated show and actually have a character that ages. And,
and that's the thing with the animated series, is that Ash never really seems like, in between different versions of the show, or different, I guess not really seasons, but different shows themselves, it almost seems like he forgets everything that happened in the show before. Yeah. And I don't love that. I want the character to like
have a memory.
Yeah, and like experience things as the show goes on.
And I want other characters that they meet to have memory as well.
Yeah, well, and like if they do, let's say they start in Kanto, do they go to Johto next? And is the trainer gonna have to start with new Pokemon though? Like, are they gonna have to start with a whole new roster?
Don't do that. Just maybe make it so that like catching Pokemon is a little less common. I don't know. It's tough to do that given the way they've set it up in the games, where you catch a Pokemon every 5 feet if you want to.
Yeah. But and also that the Pokemon in every region, when you go to the first gym, the Pokemon are super weak. So then is the next area going to have more powerful Pokemon that the person has to fight? Like,
yeah, and that doesn't make sense. Like, I mean, it is a video game, right? So like, that's how it has to be set up in the game so that you can have progress. But if this is a world you're living in, there shouldn't be like one region where all the Pokemon are freaking deadly, and you shouldn't go out into the wild because they will murder you. Versus,
that's why I wonder if like they should set that precedent where it's like every region that you go to, you have to start with new Pokemon. But like you have to choose a starter. Just saying, like, I don't know. They could find some way to make it work, but again, if they go in with his full team of like, I have a Charizard and like a Mewtwo and like whatever gnarly team, and then you go fight the first gym leader of Johto and they have like level 5 Pokemon.
So that's why I'm thinking maybe in a live action show there's no levels.
Okay, just skill.
And it's just skill. And so then the trainer actually, has to choose the right moves, and maybe we'll see some actual like training montages where they are learning how to do new moves instead of like just like and now Pikachu knows Volt Tackle.
But I think the part for me where it gets a little challenging is like, okay, so what if there's a new trainer that's just starting in Johto for the first time? Is that when they fight the gym leader, is the gym leader going to be that much more powerful, or are they going to have are they going to use different teams based on?
I don't know. Like the way I would justify it is that gym leaders have, dozens of Pokemon that they have, right?
Yeah.
But they have, depending on how many badges you've already acquired, they use different Pokemon. So
Okay, so if you're fighting Brock, let's say for example, but you've already gone through a different gym, instead of him having an Onix, he might have a Steelix if you're more powerful,
Precisely.
or like a Golem on his team or something compared to a Geodude. Okay, I mean I guess I could see that. That's definitely my sky's the limit idea for the show as well too. Is just like, let's start with a kid that goes through and actually ages up as the show goes on. Season 2, let's say it focuses on Johto, they're going through that. They're only 11 or 12 years old, and then just as the show goes on, they get
what is
age with the show.
Like, I'm going to throw out some ideas for live action shows, and you tell me if this is insane or stupid, or if this could work. So I'm thinking live action Pokemon, but it's Game of Thrones. So there's different houses, right? And obviously this is set in the past of the Pokemon world.
The main character can just die at any time.
At any moment. And not just the main character, the Pokemon too. So they don't just faint. I'm talking full on.
Then you could really say it's from the creator of Lucifer.
Right. I mean, we gotta play with this here, because this guy's done some heady stuff, right? He's
okay. Yep.
Got to do something unexpected here. So instead of catching Pokemon, because this is in the past, they make blood packs with their Pokemon. I don't know. What do you think?
Slicing their hands and shaking out. So like a Pokemon Conquest level type
it's Pokemon
stuff.
Conquest, the TV show.
I mean, hey, that could work. They could when they first announced they were doing a live action Pokemon movie and they went with Detective Pikachu, I think a lot of people were upset that they didn't do the trainer story, but then Detective Pikachu somehow worked. And I think it's a better way to introduce audience. Having said that, this is a show on Netflix where they could do the idea of the trainer, but I could also see them doing a spinoff. So they could do something like that. They could do a Pokemon Conquest or Pokemon Mystery Dungeon or whatever type of spinoff they want to do.
Other idea for a show. Basically, it's a Pokemon soap opera. Okay? So, people are going to be coming back from the dead, and they're going to find their long-lost twins and all that stuff, classic soap opera things, but then they also fight with Pokemon. How does that sound to you?
So, are the Pokemon the soap opera characters or the trainers?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. So, do the Pokemon talk or still just say their names?
They still just say their
dramatically.
Names. But very dramatically.
Pika, 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 Pika.
Pika? Precisely. Very dramatic.
Gasps and Pokemon in the subtitles.
No, there's no subtitles. No subtitles for what the Pokemon are saying. You're just going to get raw emotion from these Pokemon.
No. I just mean the subtitles would literally just say gasps in Pokemon.
Oh, okay. Yes, that I'll allow.
Yeah, I could see a soap opera with Pokemon. I wouldn't watch it, but I could see them doing it.
You're telling me you wouldn't try that out?
I'm not a huge soap opera person, but maybe
I'm not either. But I'm a Pokemon guy, and
days of our Pokemon, Pokemon of our lives,
Pokemon of our lives. I love that. But yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, I would try that out.
Yeah,
and
I could see. What if it's
each season is a different genre?
What if this series though ends up being a spiritual successor to Detective Pikachu, and it's like a kind of raw, gritty detective show?
Pokemon.
Yeah. Law and Order. Law and Order. I can't think of a good SVU type thing that works for Pokemon.
I can't either.
Yeah.
Pandemic's still very, very, much in the news. Maybe they do a series on the Pokerus, right? So it's a Pokemon hospital. It's, Nurse Joy's the main character. With Chansey's running around and Audino's, and they're trying to find out why Pokerus is spreading through
Pokemon's anatomy.
Pokemon's anatomy.
This will also be a pseudo soap opera, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, all hospital shows are also soap operas. That's a fact.
Yeah. For me, I really just my hopes and dreams are just that this works, and that it's they find a way to make a live action Pokemon show that isn't just corny or something like that. Like I feel like it'd be a fun like it'd be fun to just do a trainer story and like make it it could be like set for like kids slash teenagers like as the main audience. But
set it as if you peg it for like the 13 to 18-year-old audience.
Yeah,
your main character can be 10, 11 years old and age as the show progresses, and people will still be able to relate to it because and then the diehard Pokemon fans like ourselves will watch it because we're diehard Pokemon fans.
Yeah.
And that could be a successful thing. And if they do like we're talking about, where the character is aging and growing up and and learning life lessons and things, just like the people who are around that age group are going to be learning those life lessons in real life, then it's the sort of show that people can grow with and continue to watch instead of having to hit the reset button every few years like they do with the current show.
Yeah. I'm just kind of hoping as well too that it's not like a CW drama show. Like it's not like a
Actually, that was the next one I was about to pitch was Pokemon Riverdale.
Man, like Ash is just yoked in this one. Like he's always shirtless.
And then there's constant, love triangle nonsense between Misty and Dawn and May and Iris and Serena and
all of them. Yeah, all of them. everyone. Yeah, I'm pretty excited at the possibilities though of like what they're gonna do for the show. What I think they're actually gonna do is probably something more akin to what we don't want, where it's gonna be new trainers. And I don't know though, because here's the thing. Saying that, when Stranger Things started, it was supposed to be originally they're like, yeah, we're only doing one season with these kids, and then season 2 is going to be a completely different kid set in a different time zone. And it was so popular, and the kids were so popular, they're like, let's just like keep the same cast, and then it'll be like 2 years later or a year later, whatever it was. But I remember it was supposed to be like they were going to jump like a decade forward, and it was going to have a different cast was the original idea.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe if it's like super popular, they'll keep the same cast around and do that, but I could see them switching it every season or every other season as well. But I don't know.
I don't know that I want well, one thing I know that I don't want is I don't want live action Ash. I want new stuff entirely. Like you can be in the same world, same like starting Kanto, sure, why not? But they need to get away from Ash, and I think that was a smart thing they did by doing Detective Pikachu with the first live action movie they did. And I do want to shout out Islam sent us
it's hilarious.
Town, which is already there, the Riverdale. Very, very good stuff.
Is that Giratina in the background?
Oh my god, it is, right?
Yeah, I think so. That's really good. Well, good job, Islam.
I'm gonna try to pull that up real quick.
That's really funny. Yeah, I think that it's probably gonna be something similar to what we hope it is, where it's following a trainer. If you're doing an 8 to 10 episode like TV show, that's a really good format to do that anyways. So I think it would work better in a TV show than them doing a movie, because that's what everybody wanted was when they announced that they were doing a Detective Pikachu and they talked about doing another movie as well. They wanted the story of like a trainer going through catching Pokemon, all that. But if they do it as a live action TV show, I think it's going to work better anyways.
Yeah.
Did you show the picture?
I showed it briefly on the stream.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think this show has a lot of potential. I'm most curious about the tone that they're going to go for with this, because there are so many middle-aged Pokemon fans now.
Exactly.
Right? And do they really want to make it? Would it make sense for them to make a live-action show that is still aimed at kids and teens, when so much of their audience are young adults and middle-aged men like myself?
I think it would be nice, like, they need to find a good balance to where it can work for everybody, and it's not like a dark and gritty. Like, I don't want them to go like a DCEU route. I know like bringing that up is like old. It's like an old thing to bring up, but like how they went dark and gritty on the DCEU. But I would like them to find a way to balance it for everybody. And like minus all the cussing and everything like that, I think a good show for them to like look at as an example of like a lighthearted show that is almost for everybody would be like Ted Lasso, where it's like that show just is, it's such a feel good show. And I think if they can capture some of that with Pokemon, but make it to where like everybody's like, oh man, like, hey, did you watch that Pokemon show? Like, I know that Pokemon's for kids, but like this show's actually really good. Like, something like that. It'd be cool if they can find a balance of that.
I am curious, like, how much comedy they will try to work in on this show.
Yeah, and will it be like super corny comedy like in the anime?
Yeah,
well, I wonder if they'll have like, are they gonna have Team Rocket in some way? Like, are they gonna try to do like a pseudo Jesse and James, or like
they have to break away from some of that stuff?
Yep,
a little bit.
I agree. You're definitely not wrong.
Otherwise, like Islam says it has to be corny. So that like those are the options.
Yeah.
It either has to be so corny that it is 100% a bit and everyone knows it's a bit and you're in on it, or they need to get away from all the references and stuff to stuff that we've already seen 1,000 times and do something completely new in that world. Because otherwise, people are just going to be comparing it to things that have already come and gone. You know, like they could do Team Rocket, sure, but you know, if they were trying to make a more realistic Team Rocket, Giovanni would be like a mob boss, like an actual mob boss, where he'd break people's kneecaps and things, right? But they're not going to do that in a Pokemon show, so maybe they have to avoid that.
I predict it's going to be more of like a PG level show. Like I think they'll go. It won't be like just like a a G-rated show. I think it'll be more PG, and it'll be like. And I think that's also going to be so that they can show the fighting as well too. Because if they show like the Pokemon fighting, they are going to try to. It's not to say that they're going to like make it violent or anything like that, but I feel like doing a G show and showing animals attacking each other is kind of hard to do.
It's hard to do, for sure.
Like even, I think Detective Pikachu is a PG movie. Like I don't think it's a G movie, and I don't think it was PG-13. Like there's not cussing or anything like that. The only thing that they do in that movie is like more so like nods, or like you kind of have to like, you have to catch that they're going for something a little bit more adult than like, as a kid, you're not going to notice it, but the adults are going to be like, "Oh, I see what they did there," kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I do hope that it works out, and I hope that they just do the trainers. Do you think it's going to be a story about Red? Like, will they just use Red as the character?
I mean, they could, but you know, the thing is, he's called Red or Blue, as the case was in the United States, but his name in Japan was Satoshi, right? Which was also the main character in the TV show. So I think, honestly, I wouldn't make any reference to any of that stuff.
Islam says Detective Pikachu was PG, even though they made a cocaine joke. That's what I'm saying. They had little jokes like that throughout that kind of like push the line a little bit. But when you have Ryan Reynolds in your cast, it's kind of hard to like not have that happen.
The other thing is, are they going to go for star power in the cast?
Yeah, and that's what I was wondering too. Are they just going to go with more so unknowns and Pokemon, an unknown cast, and just kind of go with like new talent, or how? Like, there's so many questions, and like as we get closer to this show ever actually being a thing, it'll be cool because we can find out some of these things. But right now, it's like we have so little to go on. All we know is that they're making a live action show.
Yeah.
And will it actually come out? Like, do you think this will actually happen?
Yeah, I think it will.
I think so too.
Netflix's relationship with the Pokemon company has been good. You know, they clearly are very happy. They keep bringing more and more Pokemon content to Netflix as it is. So I can see this being a thing that they will continue to do going forward.
This is kind of a side note. It has to do with their relationship with Netflix, but I'm also wondering if this will help the relationship to where they'll just like, eventually we're just going to get, hey, everything Pokemon is now on Netflix. Like, all of the animes are now here on Netflix. All of the movies now here on Netflix. Like, I wonder if that's going to lead to something like that, where we just get all of the Pokemon IP just kind of moved over there. Similar to the Avatar universe, where they got Avatar and then they added Korra because they're doing like the live action show. I wonder if it's going to be anything like that. But, I mean, yeah, do you have any other thoughts or like any opinions on what you think?
The only other thing I wanted to share on this was that the live action anime adaptation history on Netflix is not great. So, I'm skeptical that that's why I really want them to not make this so much as an adaptation as something completely new. Because if they are trying to adapt it, I just think it's going to go the same way the Death Note movie did, and just be a huge disappointment.
Well, and I think that's one of the nice things about this is that Death Note, you had the manga and the anime, right, which it was based on. But Pokemon, there's so much they could do. There's the Pokemon there, or there's the manga. You could technically do the manga. There's the games. There's the anime.
Maybe they should
There's
take
spin-off games. There's so many different things that they could literally just, hey, we're going to do our own characters in this world. You'll see people like Professor Oak, but you're not going to see Ash. You're not going to see Red.
They could do Pokemon Ranger,
Yeah,
as a series, and that they could have sort of similar story structure to a lot of those shows that are like, what's the name of it? Lone Star 911 or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
That sort of, cop drama or, emergency drama stuff. I mean, there's options.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with that. Is there's so much they can do. There's so much room for them to like make this show anything, and I think it really could work. Like Detective Pikachu, again, it's a buddy cop like detective movie about Pokemon that like came out and worked.
And it worked.
So who knows? Maybe it will be something that's like, like you said, I guess Pokemon Ranger would work. They could also do like a story of like a breeder. There could be like a Pokemon breeder. There could be like, it could be literally someone who's just trying to go around the world to study Pokemon. Like it could be anything.
It could be the Professor Oak show.
Yeah.
So like a young Professor Oak and how learning about Pokemon, making discoveries, and venturing around the world. Could be. I mean, there's all sorts of possibilities.
It could be something even similar to the Arceus game, where it's like someone going around a region, like basically discovering that whole region. I don't think they're going to do that, but like we said, the limit, like the possibilities are endless on what they could actually do. I'm excited.
That being said, what they're going to do is a trainer show.
Yes, they're going to do a trainer show. Like we said, that's what we think the show will actually be. It will be a trainer show. It will follow a trainer through a region. I don't know if it's going to be Kanto. I don't know what they're going to do. But I'm excited. I want to not get myself too excited for it. But it's not that, like you said, Netflix anime adaptations have not been great. We'll get that out of the way. However, Detective Pikachu blew me away with how much I liked it. So that's where I'm like, when I tell myself to temper my expectations, I'm like, but I did really like Detective Pikachu.
One other thing I wanted to mention was that this is still the 25th anniversary of Pokemon, right? How long has this live action show been in the works? And is this something that they were trying to get announced earlier when they were making their 25th anniversary announcements? This feels like the sort of thing that should have been included earlier on in the year.
Well, and that's even when we were doing all of our predictions or like reactions to anything that happened this year. That was what we said. Like we would have predictions of like, oh, maybe they'll announce a new movie, like live action movie, and they never did. It does seem weird that just Variety article had the exclusive on this being made, like that they didn't announce it somewhere or anything like that. So I think this show's also a couple years off. I don't think we're going to see this till 2023 at the earliest. Like, do you think we'll get it any sooner than that?
I could see it being next year, depending on how quickly it goes into production. I just want to point out Islam and my brother are in our chat, and they're just talking about random stuff, thinking that I won't acknowledge that they're talking about random stuff. I will. I'll acknowledge it.
Do you have any final thoughts, though, on this live action show that we don't know anything about?
I mean, no, we've discussed it. I think it has a lot of potential. But as with all new Pokemon announcements, I got to temper my expectations because, we've been burned before.
Listen, we still don't. Do we even have Pokemon Sleep? Did it ever come out?
Not that I'm aware of. And
exactly. We have to temper our expectations because that would have been Game of the Year.
I still haven't learned how to sleep because I've never been taught properly.
Exactly. Pokemon Company, please teach us how to sleep.
And bring back Megas.
And bring back Megas, man. Come on. All right. That's going to do it for our main topics for today. We are going to go right into Rank That Pokemon. Theme song pending.
That Pokemon!
This week we're gonna actually do 2 Pokemon because we have been kind of on a hiatus for so long, and we figured our news topics today and our main topics weren't gonna be super super long, so we wanted to rank 2 Pokemon, take up a little bit of time talking about those. So the Pokemon we are ranking today are Pokemon number 881, Arctozolt, and Pokemon 758, Salazzle. So let's start
Arctozolt.
let's start with Arctozolt.
So I have him up on the screen right now so people can see him.
Should I go through our current ranking first?
Oh, you should.
All right. Number 19, we have Scrafty. 18, we have Bellsprout. 17 is Ferroseed. 16 is Saladin. 15 is Cufant. 14 is Clamperl. 13 is Zigzagoon. 12 is Delibird. 11 is Poliwag. 10 is Hariyama. 9 is Duat. 8 is Rookidee. 7 is Shieldon. 6 Rockruff. 5 Floatzel. 4 Galarian Zigzagoon. 3 Sirfetch'd. 2 Darkrai. 1 Squirtle. All right. Arctozolt. Let's pull up Arctozolt. So, for people that don't know, Arctozolt is one of the fossil Pokemon in the Galar region. They did their fossil Pokemon a little bit different in that game, which was kind of unique, where basically you combine fossils to create different fossil Pokemon. It's a cool idea in theory. I like that they did that. But they all look really weird. Like, how do you feel about just the way they look? Because they look so silly.
This is the stupidest fossil Pokemon. Like, this particular one is the stupidest.
Yeah.
Even of all the combining ones, which are all quite stupid. This is the dumbest one.
Yeah, I definitely like the other ones more than this one. I'm looking through just to make sure that there's only 3, right? In this one?
There's 4 of them.
4? Okay, yeah.
Because there's...
Right. Let me look.
And that's the thing that bothers me. That, like... You have the head that is this on Arctozolt, which is the same one that's on Dracozolt, right?
Yep.
But there should be a backside of whatever that Pokemon head is that actually matches that head. But there isn't. None of the combinations make up... there's no way to combine them into like one cohesive Pokemon that actually makes sense.
I think the backside of Arctovish and the front side of Dracovish are the same, right?
The backside of Arctovish.
Oh, I see what you're saying. But the top half of Arctozolt, there's not like an actual bottom.
There's no bottom half that matches the top half of Arctozolt.
Yeah, which is weird. I totally get what you're saying. Okay.
And then Dracovish, like I don't have these all pulled up. I'll pull them back up real quick. Here, let's do that. I'll pull that back up. So we got Dracovish here. Like Dracovish's head is on the back of a tail. Like literally, that's the backside of a Pokemon. But its head is on the end of the tail for some reason, and there's no front half of this Pokemon. Where's the front half that matches the back half of Dracovish? You know.
Oh, what the heck? I don't know. Yeah, because if the colors were like yellow, you could be like, oh, maybe the top half of Arctozolt would match the bottom.
But if that was the case, then Dracozolt would be one matching thing. But Dracozolt is the tail end of Dracozolt is the same tail end that friggin' Dracovish's head is on.
This is like a whole other podcast.
Man, I could talk. I could talk for hours on how much I hate these. They're so bad.
Yeah, I don't love any of them, if I'm being honest. I typically really like fossil Pokemon in games as a huge like dinosaur person, but these are kind of silly. I don't hate them. I just don't love any of them. And Arctozolt is probably my least favorite of all of them.
They gave him the sniffles, Dustin.
Yeah,
he's got the droopy snot thing going. Come on,
he has it going even in the anime.
How am I supposed to like this Pokemon?
Yeah, I mean, well, it is. Let's see. The typing is
Electric Ice is a cool typing combination. It is.
Yeah,
it's a cool type, but it looks dumb. The way you make it is dumb. It's not a great. There's just nothing. There's nothing to like about it other than its typing. I will say actually one other thing.
Islam says there's a lot of hate in this podcast right now.
He's not wrong. But the card for Arctozolt is actually a decently useful card in the TCG. So I'll give him a little bit of points for that. But truthfully,
well, and then the fact that it can learn both ice moves and electric is nice. That is a nice feature. However, I am with you on this where it's kind of just there's not a whole lot to like about it. Even the shiny's like not great. Like the shiny's just gray. It's just gray.
It's just great. And Islam is on board now with our hate because he just realized which Pokemon we're talking about.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah, Arctozolt.
What would you like? How would you rank this one then? Because I'm it's not very high for me either.
This is I think this is a worse Pokemon than Scrafty.
Really,
I do.
I don't think it's a worse Pokemon than Scrafty. I don't think it's that low. Scrafty's bad.
Scrafty at least has a theme, right? That his skin pants are falling off. That's a theme like for this Pokemon, like that makes it unique. Arctozolt's like, we're out of ideas. Let's literally just smash things together.
But like, Arctozolt's more usable than Scrafty.
I don't even know if that's
like
true. Arctozolt's design is so bad that I refuse to use it.
See, but then you're like robbing yourself of like maybe a good electric ice Pokemon.
Yeah, I'll survive.
Okay, so you would put this at the bottom?
I would put this at a bottom. Because of one of its TCG cards that I actually think the card is kind of good. I'm giving this 0.5.
Ooh, I think this might be one of the few times we're actually kind of split.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to average out our vote on this.
Because I would give it, I would say it's probably like a 2 to 2.5 for me. I would put it right, personally, for me, it would be either right above Ferroseed or right below Ferroseed.
Okay, if I'm not gonna get it below Scrafty, I'm gonna make an argument for why it should still be below Bellsprout, and here's why. At least Bellsprout evolves.
I guess that's true. Okay, we could split the middle here and put it at a 1.5 and put it right below Bellsprout. I'd be okay with that.
Agreed.
All right. Let's do that. We'll move on to another Pokemon that's...
Paul had stepped away. I'm just going to show him real quick the Pokemon that we were hating on so that he knows why the hatred is so valid and deserved before we switch to our next one. So we were talking about Arctozolt, which you can see here, and you can tell it's a very stupid Pokemon that's made by combining two fossils. And it's very stupid.
We'll move on to our next one, though, and maybe Jeff will get a little bit of redemption here with Salazzle, because Salandit was so low on the list.
Salazzle.
Because you like Salandit, right?
I do like Salandit, and I like Salazzle as well.
I like Salazzle a lot more than Salandit. It's kind of creepy, but I do really like the typing, the Poison Fire.
Poison Fire is a cool type.
It looks like it should be Dark Fire, but that's a whole different discussion for me.
So
but
the other thing I want to call attention to that makes Salazzle interesting is the hang on one second. It's the gender ratio here that you can see on the right hand side here. 100% female. That's what makes this Pokemon interesting. Is in order to get Salazzle, you have to catch a Salandit.
That's a female, right?
Which is a female, and only 12.5% of Salandits are female. So
I like that. The whole thing about it being 100% female is fine and everything. I don't love gimmicks in games like that where they make it that much harder on you to evolve your Pokemon, though.
I think that makes it a unique Pokemon, and especially like if you're like me and you like desperately wanted the shiny for this. I'm going to scroll down to show the shinies on this one. Look at the sprite on these shiny Salazzles.
I'm going down there.
They're white with the
that is actually really
purple
cool.
underbelly. They're really cool looking, and so it's hard to get a female Salandit in the first place. Harder still to get a shiny Salandit in the first place. So getting a shiny Salazzle is like holy grail territory, right? Especially if
you're you're the coolest kid on the playground if you have that.
Precisely. So
I like Salazzle so much more than Salandit. Like just looking at the design, I would definitely put it much higher, I feel like, than we put Salandit. Now, before we even get there though, do you have a ranking for this? Like what is the point ranking that you would give Salazzle?
So now I got to look at our ranking system. I had Salandit way higher than you did, and that's why Salandit ended up at a 2.5 on our scale. I would probably give Salazzle a 4.
I can respect that, and I agree with that.
Okay.
I think that I like Salazzle. Now, I think I like Salazzle more than Galarian Zigzagoon. I don't know if I like Salazzle more than Sirfetch'd, though.
I agree. I think I agree.
Do you think that it's better than Sirfetch'd, or?
I do, but the fact that you don't would mean that it would kind of average out.
I could be persuaded, because I just like Sirfetch'd design. I like the shield. I like the giant leek sword. He's like a knight.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, Sirfetch'd really cool. But I think the novelty of how you get Salazzle makes Salazzle more special to me.
I gotta pull up Sirfetch'd again real fast, because, like I said, I could be persuaded. So let me pull up Sirfetch'd, and I'll look and I'll see if I could be persuaded. God, Sirfetch'd is just so cool looking.
I mean, I'm not arguing against how cool Sirfetch'd is. He's by far one of the coolest Pokemon introduced in Galar. But let's look at the sprite on Sirfetch'd for Shiny. He just turns into like a rubber ducky.
He's gold.
Yeah, I mean, you could say gold. It looks yellow to me.
It's gold.
I'll go ahead and
He's a
pull that
golden
up.
knight.
See, that's Shiny Sirfetch'd.
There's something about Sirfetch'd, man.
Okay, well, so I'm not going to convince you. That's fair. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity.
A big part of what makes me like Sirfetch'd is this picture here, too, on the Bulbapedia of him just sitting next to Bee, or Bay, however you say her name?
Bee.
From Pokemon Twilight Wings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's just such an interesting Pokemon.
And it's a fighting type, and, it's an interesting take on a fighting type as well. It's not just all muscles and kicks and punches,
Okay.
So I agree. Sirfetch'd is very cool.
So for me personally, I'd put it at 4. Salazzle.
Okay.
Is that okay with you?
I'm fine with that, because I wanted it at the very least to be higher than Floatzel and Galarian Zigzagoon.
Okay. Perfect. Then I will add it. Our new number 4 is Salazzle. So and it's a 4. Sorry, let me add that in there. Our new ranking, we're just going to do the top 10 now. We've almost pushed Duat out of the top 10 now. So Duat is at number 10, Rookidee at number 9, Shieldon at number 8, Rockruff at number 7, Floatzel at 6, Galarian Zigzagoon at 5. Our new number 4 is Salazzle, Sirfetch'd at 3, Darkrai at 2, and Squirtle at 1. And then I know we don't typically do all of ours, but again, we put Arctozolt at number 20 on our list.
Yeah.
So
just ahead of Scrafty.
Yeah. Islam says number 1 Alakazam. We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll have to see.
When the random number generator gives us Alakazam to talk about. Yeah.
Eventually the RNG gods will be on our side at some point, and maybe we'll get a Pokemon that we both really like. I mean, we both like Squirtle and Darkrai, so that worked. But
that worked really well.
And we both like Salazzle, as we just went over as well too. Yeah, I think that's gonna do it for us this week. Now that we finished our Rank That Pokemon.
Yeah. So
Jeff, what do you got to promote?
Well,
what are you doing? What's going on?
I'd like to suggest people follow me and subscribe on twitch.tv/goodgamegrizz if you haven't already followed or subbed. I'd greatly appreciate that. But also, I want to call attention to the show I do on YouTube and on Twitch as well for Pop XP YouTube channel, where we talk about movies and TV shows, new stuff in pop culture. Like this week, we're going to be talking about the Green Knight and the new He-Man cartoon, as well as some new comic books and things that are coming out this week. So you should definitely check that out. We do that live on YouTube and on Twitch at 8 o'clock Central Time. So keep your eyes out for that. And there is the potential for spoilers, but we always warn you before we go into each subject so that you can tune out for a little while and come back. Did you already watch
Green Knight?
I'm seeing it later tonight.
Really, okay. I might be in the same boat. That's why I was wondering. We were talking about going to see it tonight as well too. Sorry, that has nothing to do with this podcast, but I just wanted to know if you had seen it already. Anything else you want to promote? That's going to do it for you?
Like I said, and follow me on Twitter. That way you can hear about other stuff I'm doing.
I would like to promote really just this podcast. If you guys can share this episode with your friends. Again, Pod-ket Monsters on Twitter as well. We're on YouTube. We're on podcast services as well. And then also, I want to promote Jeff's Twitch, because that's where we typically will play games, which most likely next weekend is what we'll end up doing. If we don't have an episode, we'll probably just play some Pokemon
Next weekend,
Unite.
I'm going to my cousin's wedding, so I won't
Just
be doing
kidding.
anything next week.
Just kidding. Next weekend, we will be taking a break from Pokemon content because he has a wedding. And then the following weekend, I will also be gone. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get some Twitch streaming in
Maybe we can play
next
sometime
Sunday
during
or
the
something.
week. And
Yeah, exactly.
And a good shout out from our friend Islam in chat.
Yeah.
You'll watch I to Buy instead.
Exactly. Follow I to Buy also on Twitch. That's a good channel to go. All right, that's going to do it for us here. Jeff, great episode. Thank you for chatting. Fans, thanks for waiting so long between episodes. I think we're going to open a few packs. You got some packs to open?
I sure do.
Come on, hang out with us in the chat. Over on Twitch. We'll open some packs.
And if you're watching on YouTube, thank you. And follow and subscribe and all that jazz. Bye.
Bye, everybody.